Hello, welcome. Yes, this is the Metjeffuk.com 2016-17 winter verification. A quick look back at the last 3 months and see how well or not we have done. Well, as you all know, it was a mildish winter. I wouldn't say very mild, but it was a mildish winter. And a very dry winter at that as well. I mean, the mean temperature anomaly for 81 to 2010, this is supplied kindly by the Met Office, by the way. And sorry we got a bit of a Cornwall cut off, but it's basically saying the same story. That it was a dry winter, but also a very mild one. In fact, northern Scotland was 1.5 degrees above normal, and some parts of Scotland, Highland area, was a good 2 degrees above normal. Not really surprising because Scotland does get very cold weather anyway. Again, Northern Ireland and most of England and Wales were above the norm, roughly between 0.5 and 1 degree above the normal for this period. Just occasionally, colder air was pulled in off the continent into the southeast, and here it became slightly colder than average, but generally speaking, it was either average or above temperatures. And that also reflected on the rain. Again, we are high pressure situated very close by to the British Isles, so this influenced the rainfall. In fact, the south and southwest was extremely dry to what it normally gets, 50% drier, in some places 70% drier than normal, and that goes for Northern Ireland and of course for Scotland. Extremely dry for the time of the year. So looking at Metjeff's forecast, well basically we said that it would be wetter than average with more snowfall. We said that temperatures will be below average and sun and wind would be, generally speaking, the sun would be above average, but the temperatures would be below average. Well, as you can see, what we've done here is that yeah, we got a bit of a tick, I suppose, for the rainfall because that was below average. Temperatures, though, they were below average, of course, on my map, but they weren't. They were about normal, if not above, and average sun was above average. So yes, as for December, we got like 3 ticks on, but generally speaking, not too bad, I suppose. Well, as we go to December, and basically, the only tick we really got was out of sunshine. We said that sunshine would be below average in January, and it was quite a cloudy month, despite the fact that it was drier than average. But yeah, temperatures, as you can see, and snowfall were well below average, so we said they would be above, but of course they weren't, and the same thing goes for February. So what did we predict? Well, our scenario was that we would have high pressure over the continent, in fact over Scandinavia. Now normally we would get cold easterly winds coming in from Siberia, in fact, which is bitterly cold, of course. This interacting with low pressure over the continent, moving north, and the precipitation would of course be of snow, and in fact this is the usual scenario for a very cold and wintry winter. Unfortunately, the high pressure decided to slip a little bit south, and that allowed for somewhat warmer weather to push up from the south into especially western Britain. Occasionally we got tapped into this continental air, which was over the very, very cold, and this affected the southeast. As you will see on my next little chart here, that the end result was that we had high pressure too far south for the British Isles to tap into this colder air. Most of the air was being forced up a more of a southerly direction. Now, occasionally, we did get a feed off the continent, okay, and it turns somewhat colder. But generally speaking, you know, we got milder air coming off the Atlantic, and it resulted in drier weather because it was close to the high pressure, but slightly above the norm. If this high pressure that slipped further north, okay, just a little bit, then we would have then really tapped into some bitterly cold air from the continent and from Siberia, and the winter would have been a completely different story. But as you know, we do these things just for fun, and we all know that weather is not an exact science. So that's oh yes, this is statistics from the Met Office. So yeah, it was 1.3 degrees above the normal for the winter on temperature. Rainfall was 76% down, and we at Sunshine, the total was 154 hours, which is 98% of the average. So yes, there you have it. There's your Metjeffuk forecast verification. So not a very good forecast, I'm afraid, but hey, it is, like I say, just for fun. Now, very shortly we'll be bringing out the spring and summer forecasts, so make sure you tune in for that one. I think there's going to be quite a few surprises coming up for this summer. But until then, or whatever your weather, enjoy it.